Danny Flexon here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by one half of SJM Boxing, Adam Morallee. Adam, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Danny. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I've asked Joe before who he feels suits him better out of AJ and Usyk, who will meet in a rematch some point this summer. From a negotiating standpoint, is there one that's easier to make than the other for you?
Yeah, the AJ fight's much easier to make because I know the 258 guys really well and they're very solid and commercial. So it's an easier deal to make. Whether we'll have the same view of everyone's value, obviously I can say what I like, Joe's undefeated, blah, 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 but AJ's the A side. And people have different views of how much people are worth when you go into a promotion like that. So I'm not saying we'll agree on Joe's commercial worth, but that's I can go out and have lunch with someone and we can do the deal with Frank Warren and whoever AJ's promoter is, if it's Eddie, or whether he's self-promoted or whatever it may be. That's a much easier conversation to have. I think with Usyk, I don't really have a relationship with Usyk's guys, but they seem, I saw them at the Usyk-AJ fight in September, they seem really decent guys, so I don't think that would be difficult to make.
Who do you think will win the rematch, having said that?
I think Usyk will probably win the rematch. I think realistically, I don't mean that in a way that's disrespectful to AJ. I'd like AJ to win the rematch, primarily from a very selfish reason, to bring AJ world champion. It's a great fight for Joe Joyce. AJ is an incredible, there's no one like AJ commercially. There's no one who sells things out like him one-sided. I mean, Tyson Fury's approaching it, and for Joe to be able to fight AJ would be incredible. So I want AJ to win. I want him to have a world title back because it's a brilliant fight for Joe Joyce. I'm in the Joe Joyce business. But I feel as though, if I'm being honest, I think in rematches, if you look at the history of rematches, I think if there is going to be a different result, something very fundamental has to change. Now, I'm not inside his camp, but I have the highest respect for him. But Usyk is a very, very elite level boxer and is very, very tough to beat. I just don't think he's going to lose.
You mentioned Tyson Fury there. He's currently insisting he is now retired after that epic win over Dillian Whyte at Wembley Stadium. Do you expect that we'll see him again in the ring, though?
It's difficult. I think Tyson Fury is a man who does whatever he wants and is unpredictable. So he could well be retired. He's like a man of his word and his conviction, and he could well be retired and could never fight again, or fight in Ngannou or do something like that. Or it may be, having worked with a lot of fighters over the years and having worked with them into retirement, that he misses the buzz, he misses the day-to-day, he misses training, and he comes back. I think Danny has retired before, or he said he's retired before and he's come back. He seems to have a lot more conviction about it now. He keeps talking about it a lot, that he's going to retire, and you've got to take him at his word. So, but will AJ fight tempt him out of retirement? I mean, he's in his prime. It'd be crazy not to do that. I do think, though, he isn't motivated by money now. I do believe him. He's got enough money. Well, he's made an enormous amount of money, and I don't think Tyson Fury is the type of man that will be motivated. If he's got 50 million in the bank, making 80 million won't motivate him anymore. He won't think, I've got 80 instead of 50. He leads, I think, a fairly simple life. I don't think he is motivated too much by cars and jewellery and things like that. I think he's motivated by, old-fashioned things like, I want to show people I'll beat him easily. So I don't think you're getting him out of retirement other than for an undisputed fight.
Lerone Richards, what's next for him, and when might we see him next out?
Lerone is now top 10 in the world, Ring Magazine fighter. Talking to Matchroom about getting him out. I saw Eddie said about June the 4th yesterday. I need to talk to Matchroom about that a bit more. We want Lerone in very competitive top fights, not dodging anyone. I don't think there's much point for Lerone Richards to fight someone. His last fight was for IBO world title. The fight before that was for the European title. He's an elite fighter. It doesn't make sense for him to do an 8 or 10 rounder. He wants to be going for the IBF world title. So I want him to be in a final eliminator or against a name, like a profile fight against a name like a Danny Jacobs or someone like that. That's the kind of fight I want for Lerone.
Just before I let you go, we found out actually during the pre-fight press conference for Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, the MTK Global will no longer be operating. what's your views on that? And is there an opportunity there potentially for SJAM to sign some of the fighters that are now left without management?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think over the years, I know a lot of the MTK guys, Lee Eaton, Tom Stalker, Anto, those guys, they're all great guys. And my understanding is that a lot of the boxers will go with them individually. Now the company's gone, they'll go with them individually. So I think at SJAM, I've never wanted to approach other fighters who are already under management. I think either we get approached or someone's out of contract and you can go and talk to them. Having said that, I think there are some people that might fall out that may not have been managed by one of the main people or who may want alternative management, though I haven't actually seen it happen yet. I have good relationships with them. I help them out. I'm also a lawyer, so sometimes a few of them phone me up with legal questions. Yeah, I mean, MTK have incredible talents there. Josh Taylor. Had. You know, people like Josh Taylor. I think Tyson Fury's completely different, like one-off. But I really hope they don't lose anyone and they keep their fighters and they keep going. You know, they've done, as an organisation, as a management organisation, they changed the sport. No one had as many boxers under management as MTK. They looked after their fighters, they believed in their fighters. I've got total respect for them. And I don't think it's like vultures feasting on the MTK carcass. I don't think that's happening. I think they're sorting themselves out between themselves, but that may be that one or two boxers may look elsewhere for a different style of management, and I'd certainly be open to talking to some of the boxers if they wanted that, but I don't want to disrespect anyone by approaching anyone.
Adam Morallee, really appreciate it. Cheers, mate.